Hello, everybody. This is Kate Strashny from DATAcated, and I'm at Salesforce Agentforce in New York City at the Javits Center. Really excited to talk to Alice Steinglass from Salesforce. Alice, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. We're here right underneath our Agentforce banner, and we've got a huge crowd here. It's really exciting.
I know. It's been buzzing with excitement, and the keynote was really great. I got to listen to some of the sessions about not DIYing your AI, which I thought was brilliant. And, I think a good place for us to start is, what do you do at Salesforce?
So I'm the EVP and GM for the platform at Salesforce. So it's basically the platform that goes underneath our clouds like Sales Cloud and Service Cloud, but it's also the platform that our whole ecosystem of ISVs is built on top of and what allows our customers to customize their instance to make it their own. I studied AI in the 90s, right? And it was invented in the 60s. We were playing with Eliza. I don't know if you remember, it was a Unix prompt. It was a psychotherapist that I could ask questions. And all of her answers were like, if I were to ask her, hey, where's my jeans order? She'd be like, what do jeans mean to you? So it wasn't exactly the kind of functionality that we want out of our AI.
Yeah.
But for the last 10 years, Salesforce has been embedding predictive AI across our entire platform. We do more than 1 trillion predictions every single week. And that predictive AI allows us to optimize things like the next best action or what time of day should we send an email. And all of those can be decided based on massive amounts of data that allow us to predict with AI what to happen next. But I think the big breakthrough has been generative AI and what that can do. And that's been the last couple of years. It started with, being able to do embedded generative AI. Mm-hmm. So things like the service example, right? I could generate a reply for a service agent right in line.
Yeah.
So when it says, hey, what happened to my jeans order? Instead of that service agent going and looking that up and trying to figure it out, it's just right there. Here's a suggested answer for what happened to my jeans order.
Sometimes things go wrong, right? So I want to know, what is Salesforce doing to put some guardrails in place to make sure that the service agent that customers are talking to, or even internally employees are engaging with, making sure that they're not hallucinating, making sure that they're not saying something that is incorrect?
That's a great question. So, and to take us there, actually, I need to do one more step on that AI journey, because what we've gone to now, what we're talking about now, is not just generative AI that's embedded in the flow of work, but autonomous agents that are able to do multi-steps of reasoning. They can pull in the right data. They can solve a problem. They can work on their own to solve that problem and then come back and interact with humans at the right moments. So I think when we look at the impact of AI and what it's able to do, this is a whole nother leap forward. It's the next wave of AI that we're now rolling out across our customers. So to your question of how do I do that safely? How do I make sure?
Yeah.
That's a lot. I just said that agent was going to go pick the right data, right?
Right.
And take actions. And how do I make sure that that's going to work at my organization and with my data? So there are many layers of security and trust and governance that you need in place in order. This is why it's not do-it-yourself AI. This is why you use an AI solution. So it starts with the data, right? Making sure you have the right security and governance in place on the data so that when the AI is referencing the data, it's using data that not just my organization has access to, but you in particular have access to in this instance. So we want to make sure we've got the right security and permissions on the data level. We have what we call our Einstein trust layer. And the Einstein trust layer provides a layer of security and protection and privacy as part of that AI inner loop, right? So how do I make sure that I'm masking PII, that I am auditing all of the results, that I have control over what happens as part of that AI loop so that I'm doing it while protecting my customers' data. And then it's taking action. Right? And what can the AI do? What actions can it take? And this is one of the reasons we've built the agents into the Salesforce platform.
So actions. I want to know, what can it actually do?
What is an action? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is actually the power of the Salesforce platform. The actions that the agent can take are all of the actions that they've been able to take across Salesforce, for 25 years. So in this example, I've got my jeans order. Maybe I need to return that order. Maybe I need to reorder it. Maybe I need to change the delivery date.
Yeah.
Any of those capabilities that might be built custom by a customer with automation, They could be APIs. They could be flows, which are low code, you drag and drop ability to put in processes. They could be code that's written, pro code solutions. Any of those can now be made available to the agent. So the agent, if before my customer service rep could have taken that action, now I can expose that to the agent so the agent can take that action. And the agents can also take new actions that are based on generative AI. So my agent can go search my knowledge base and bring back answers and summarize them for me, all using generative AI. So it's a combination of all of those actions and all of the new generative actions as well.
Honestly, this is just so exciting. I'm like, yay! Oh my God. Because you're saying that we can make any of the actions that are possible in Salesforce, basically automate those actions. So you no longer need a human to go in and click the right buttons to actually maybe send an email or process a return or give a refund.
Exactly. And that gets back to your governance question.
Yeah.
Because one of the questions that I get from people is, hey, I've got this AI and it's going to do things that are non-deterministic, right? And that's great for understanding your intent. That's what I want it to do. But what about when it's actually processing a return or an order?
Yeah.
That's something where I needed to do it in a very deterministic way.
Yeah.
Right. I needed to go connect to my ERP system. I needed to go update this field over here. And so that's where we have that combination of the AI, which is the planning, the reasoning, the thinking agent, being able to take advantage of actions that are built in the platform. And those actions are governed. Those actions can be deterministic. Those actions can follow all of the governance, permission sets, and control that you've set up inside of Salesforce.
I love that. So,
and of course, you need observability.
Of course.
Yeah, because you need to be able to look at it and say, well, what are people actually doing on the platform? What is happening with the agent? How is it driving the ROI that I want to see?
How easy is this to actually implement? Because there are lots of different processes, even with the return of the genes, right?
Yes.
Using that as an example, let's say we write some code or use Flow with the drag and drop to create an agent that can process gene returns. But we also have cargo pants and shorts. Do we need to write more code, or is this something that we can replicate across all products?
Actually, this is one of my favorite parts about building agents.
Yeah.
It used to be that when let's say I was making a customer service agent, right? I would need to document every possible line of code, every if, then, else, every part of that tree. And if I didn't explicitly say what it was going to do, it didn't do it. Now, and what that means is both it takes a long time to get it up and running, but it's also very rigid.
Yeah.
Because your business changes. Every business changes.
Yeah.
And so now, with the way AI can reason and think, I can write in plain English what it is I want it to do. I can provide those actions, and it can reason dynamically at runtime so that when it adds, something like check the inventory and see what you can, and use that as input to this next part, it can just do that and dynamically change at runtime. And when I do need to change it because the business changes, it's just English. I just update the English. So it's faster to get it up and it's faster to update it. In fact, we have a station right over there where people are creating their own agents. Have you done it yet?
I've created my agent at Dreamforce, actually. I was one of the first people to create an agent.
Excellent.
And it worked.
It takes about 10 minutes.
It took about 5.
Took about 5. Okay, so
I have a simple business, so I needed an agent who's going to talk to...
I work in product. I need to double all the estimates.
Yeah. Just in case, right?
Just in case.
Okay, 5 to 10 minutes, all right? That's was very simple. I didn't have to write any code. I didn't even have to write. I just spoke into a microphone and it drafted a transcript, asked me a couple more questions about what exactly I want, and then I was able to run around and play with it.
Yeah, we used an agent to build that agent for you.
Yeah.
We have an agent builder. So you talk to the agent, it built the agent for you. You can get started in 5 or 10 minutes. You can play with it. Everybody can do this right now on Salesforce.com. And while you're there, if you click in the lower right, we've got an agent there that can answer your questions and help you get started on Agentforce.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Alice.
Great. Thank you so much.